I spent $2.6 million on software a couple of years ago trying to build out everything that AI can do in a day now. I think most agency owners are nervous right now. They're like, AI sucks. It's not good enough, which is true. However, at this very moment, I do think AI is ready officially now.
So, Stephen, for those who are not familiar with you and your background, tell everybody real quick a little bit about you and what you've built.
Yeah, so I'm Stephen Pope. I own My Amazon Guy. We are a 420 person agency that helps Amazon sellers close to 20 mil in annual revenue. We are currently working on a pivot towards agentic AI. We built out a couple other projects we can talk about today and automating as much as we can, and excited to see what AI does for us and how to run with an agency.
That's an interesting question that I think a lot of people have is like, okay, what is AI really going to do and not just the hype? Because you hear about all the hype about like, oh, this is going to revolutionize and all this stuff. But like, how do you actually practically use it?
First, let's set the stage, right? Like AI is like teenage sex. Everybody thinks everybody else is doing it. Nobody really is. And if they are, they're doing it wrong. Right. And so I'm here to say, though, today that I've changed my opinion in the last 60 days. And I think AI is finally ready. And we've seen Nana Banana was huge for design work. Claude with programming has come like so far, it's ridiculous. I spent $2.6 million on software a couple of years ago trying to build out everything that AI can do in a day now. Like literally 2.6 million for a shitty product I didn't launch that my COO with a background in IT coded an equivalent software in a weekend that we're now creating with confidential.law. That's confidential with a K. And we're basically taking our agency model and then serving it up to lawyers. And this is like where we're going to pivot next is to create models that have worked at our agency, replicate them into other jurisdictions, other platforms, other, clientele services. Because the money's kind of drying up with Amazon sellers, truth be told. Like we've lost, 800,000 sellers or something crazy high, if you believe the stats.
It's like Amazon as a whole with their seller community.
Yeah. I think most agency owners are nervous right now. And they're like, AI sucks. It's not good enough, which is true. However, it's trending vastly different from that at this very moment. I do think AI is ready officially now. I've been shitting all over AI for 2 years personally. I think there's an AI singularity that's going to happen in the next 2 years where we can't predict anything past that event. And it's a huge black swan, which is like peacocking its way over here. Like we know it's coming, but we can't predict it. And it's still highly improbable, but highly impactful. So I think that's where we are today. And I think agency owners have to be transitioning now, even though it doesn't feel like it's quite ready, but it actually is, like officially in 2026, in my opinion.
That's a good point because, just a couple of years ago, it was like, oh, well, if the hands, like that'll tell you if it's an AI picture or not. Now you can't just look at hands because the hands have gotten better. So AI is getting better in general. How else are you using AI, whether in My Amazon Guy, and then we'll get into some of your pivots here in a moment.
When ChatGPT originally came out, we fired our copy division. We felt like AI could outright faster, better, less errors. That was true then. We were very early on that maneuver. It worked out very well for us. Copywriting was an American-based salary 2 years. I think it's been might be 3.5 now actually on that. So that was like the first Gen 1 AI maneuver. Design work is a really recent one. The design staff used to be like 55 employees. I think we're closer to 30 at this moment, maybe a tad lower. We cut 11 roles who couldn't adopt AI or resisted adopting AI. And we foresee that graphic design roles will not necessarily be about the design elements. It'll be about the ability to use the tool. So you could take a guy like John Aspinall, who has no design background, and he outmaneuvers designers with better results based on tech adoption. I think that's the future of design, and that's going to put a lot of design schools out of business. And I think that's okay. Those jobs will transfer some way, somehow. So I think that's a big one. Another big one was the programming of websites, programming of tech. And this is where we're seeing most of the layoffs in online right now, whether it's Facebook, Google, et cetera. Seeing a lot of challenges from companies that can now out program with AI. And it's very specifically usually based in Claude. Claude is being seen as the enterprise tool. We can spin up a website in 2 hours that's good enough to go. So, like, for example, I come up with the idea that we're going to start selling a CRM, billing software, et cetera, to lawyers. I come up with the idea, I go buy the domain, and hours later, we have a website spun up, email system completely done, and then built the back end the next weekend, a couple days later, and enough that people can sign up, use the tool, and we're off to the races. Like, that's millions of dollars in software dev done in a blink of an eye, really. So I think that's structurally where we've seen some of the biggest adoptions. I'll give you one other example. This is probably the one that will be most interesting to other agency owners, and that is a churn red alert. So I started taking some free calls for people to give AI advice. And in return, I wanted to know what their use cases were. And so one of the strongest use cases that came out of that was the need to have like an Amber Alert for when a client's going to churn. So you can take a system like Fireflies, which is kind of like AI Gen 1 software, where it can see in isolation, like, hey, if a client uses a keyword, call a red flag. The problem with that Gen 1 software is it can't tie it back to see trends. It can't say this call is different than the last 10 calls. And that's where we came in and said, oh, we could do that. We could tie it all together. So we tied the entire client's history together in one boat, and we record every single client call. If you're not recording client calls, that's insane. You need to record everything. Record every sales call, every client call. This is data galore to how to run your company, marketing especially, ops, et cetera. And then we were able to figure out, like, with probability indexes, who's going to churn, who needs a touch base from a higher rep in the company, and structurally figure that out. We also ran analysis for how much churn increases under various scenarios, whether it's market scenarios, a transitioning employee issue, like a transfer or an employee resignation. So we have all of that data down pat, and we know exactly what happens, and we can make educated calls. So if we know we got an account manager that comes to us and says, hey, I want 2x my salary or I'm gone. Well, now I can see, well, if you leave, I'm going to lose X% of revenue. Let me just run the math. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Go ahead and leave. No problem. I've got my intern model built out in a way where I can replace you 3 deep to a seat. No challenge, right? Obviously, we want to retain talent, but that's kind of an outlandish scenario on purpose to show how you can use that data to make those decisions and then store everything. We have a client portal where we've got all of this information, dashboards galore for clients. I think that's like table stakes at this point. All the big enterprise agencies have been doing that for a decade, but AI makes it easy for a smaller agency to do that now. And then we also have an internal MAG server where we put all of our internal information, isolate it down to the role. So for example, we have a personality survey called Culture Index. And if we want to know an employee's survey results, boom, it's stored here. Here's how to pull it, or you can search for it, et cetera. Or the last time we did an employee eval, which again, this is all baked into regular software run of the mill if you want to go pay enterprise tools to do this. But now you can use Claude to build it out for yourself, customize it quickly, and then go live so fast. So this is what I'm seeing.
How do you implement that stuff is probably a question some people are asking. Do you just ask Claude or ChatGPT or whatever LLM you're working with?
Yeah, you can basically go in and act as a developer. You tell it your use case. You can program out how it does the delivery. So if you're looking for a basic format, it can turn a savvy typer, right? Not even a technology guy, but a savvy typer into a technology specialist. A visionary right now can go in there and build to their heart's content. There's no sky to the limit. So Jeff Bezos is on record saying, bad ideas don't kill companies. Too many good ideas do. That's where we're at with AI. Now it's not a question of killing the idea with dev costs, right? So what happened in the past is these IT dev guys would push back and say, sure, we can do that feature, no problem. Cost $40,000. Or this one feature costs $200,000. And now they can say, sure, we can do that. Here you go. And have it back in the hour. So now you got owners that are like salivating and they want to do everything. So now it's not a question of bad ideas. It's now a question of too many good ones.